They lied. They don't know me. That was what led me to saying yes to Jesus. Hi there, I'm Rafiat Adekunle. Welcome to the next in my series of Walk With Me videos where I share little nuggets about my life story in the hope that it will help you in your journey. So in the last episode, I shared about my life situation and circumstance that led me to start going to church to look for evidence to puncture holes in the theory of my best friend who said Jesus was the way. I was a Muslim at that point in time, and I remember going to church that day. Normally, I would sneak into church just after the services started. I'll go to the back and then sneak out just before the service finished because I didn't want people to know that I was coming to church. Anyway, on this particular day, the preacher was saying, he said, God loves everybody. And I thought to myself, seriously? No, you don't know what you're talking about. He can't love me. And he said, it doesn't matter what you've done, he loves you anyway. And it was really funny because at that time I was just thinking, you don't know what I've done. And then I said, well, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. And then I heard this voice in my heart. And it said, but I do love you. And I knew I was not going crazy. I knew I wasn't hallucinating. And I said, okay, if I'm hearing you, I guess you're their God. And he went, yes, I am God. And I went, well, what do you mean you love me? Don't you know what I've done? I've killed a child. And he went, I don't know what you've done, but I still love you. I said, but how can you love me? They say I'm doomed to go into hell. They say you can't love me. And he said, they don't know me. They lied. They don't know me. And the minute he said that, I felt fully submerged in this ocean of his love. I knew that this person knew me, everything about me, inside out, and still loved me. And that feeling was so safe and so warm and so welcoming and so kind. I didn't want that feeling to go. And I went, I don't want this feeling to ever go. And he said, well, it doesn't have to. And I said, oh, what do you mean? What do I need to do? He said, accept my son. I said, accept your son. Who's your son? He said, Jesus. I said, the prophet Isa. And he said, yes. I said, accept him as my son. Just accept him as my son. And I went, is that all? And he went, yes. Are you sure? And he went, yes. And I went, okay, I do. And that was the sum total of how I gave my life to Jesus. That was the moment. It was not someone preaching to me. It was not any woo-woo thing. I had a conversation. I started a relationship with God. And in that situation, I felt the full extent of depth of his love, his unconditional love. I didn't even know there was a phrase so called unconditional love before then. And it was that love that drew me to him, that made me say yes. Yes, I had to learn about him. I had to grow to know him. I had to develop a relationship because he wanted to develop that relationship with me. That was all it took. Someone telling me the lies that I have been told all my life. It's the truth that sets you free. And he told me the truth. And he says he is the way, the truth, and the life. So true, so true. Now, I would encourage you, if you're searching for the meaning of life, searching for what your purpose is, searching for the reason that you're on this surface of this earth, searching for who you are, you want to go to God. And it's so easy to buy a Bible. Go get yourself a Bible. Don't listen to what people say. Go find that he will show you himself. He showed me. So I'm sure he will show you. The point I want to bring up in this for you is this. Ask questions. I had questions even before that day at the Chapel of the Healing Cross. I had questions like if it was God and he could see me, why do I have to face a particular direction to pray to him? Why do I have to pray in a particular language? Why can't he just hear my heart? Why doesn't he respond to me? Because in Islam, I don't get a response to my prayers. I don't hear anything. But here was I having a conversation with God. And I still do every single day. So ask questions. Be open. If I had been closed-minded to anything that day, I would have missed it on that day. But I know he would have kept searching for me until he found me to bring me back home to him. And when you're open, listen as well. It is there you will get the truth. You will see the lies you've been told, the false beliefs you've been given. Find out for yourself. No one can do that for you. And for me, it was also really very funny that the same situation it put me spiritually, which was deep in its ocean of love, that same situation in real life was a point of fear for me because I was nearly drowned whilst we're at the Bar Beach in Lagos. And the Bar Beach is a part of the Gulf of Guinea, which is part of the North Atlantic Ocean. And so I had a fear of water, but in that place, I was fully submerged and I was not afraid. And it's really funny that as it healed me from that incident, actually being by the seaside and the sound of the waves are what brings me calm and peace. Listen to your heart. If I had that day said, oh, I'm a Muslim girl, I can't do this, I would never have heard my heart. And my heart was saying, this is home. This is where you're supposed to be. So please be open and listen to your heart. And then, should you decide to say yes to that invitation, enjoy that journey of learning to grow a relationship with Him. That's all He's ever wanted, a relationship. And it's that relationship that gives me my wisdom, my joy, my peace, my strength. So I want to encourage you, go find out for yourself. They don't know Him. I know Him. You go know Him for yourself. Okay, I'm going to end here today. The last part of this is going to be a summary of whistle stop through the things that God did to change me in my life, to get me to where I am right now, where I know that I am loved, I am valued, I'm cherished, and He sees me and He loves me. Until then, keep smiling.